Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to create a fun and highly detailed paper craft project, making a miniature paper model of a bicycle pump. Paper crafting is a fantastic way to turn everyday objects into miniature art, and a bicycle pump is perfect because it has multiple interesting parts, including the handle, cylinder, base, hose, and nozzle. I'll guide you step by step, so by the end of this video, you'll have your very own realistic paper bicycle pump. First, let's gather all the materials we'll need. You'll need colored paper or cardstock scissors, a craft knife, a cutting mat, a pencil, a ruler glue, and fine tip markers or pens for detailing. Colored pencils can also be used to add shading and highlights to simulate metal and plastic surfaces. Make sure your workspace is clean, flat, and well lit because we'll be doing precise cutting, folding, and assembling, which is essential for achieving a realistic result. We'll start with the main cylinder of the pump. Take a piece of cardstock and draw a rectangle for the body. For a small model, I recommend a rectangle about 5 inches tall and 1 inch wide. Color or shade it to resemble metal gray or silver works best. This rectangle will form the main body where the air is pumped through. Carefully cut out the rectangle using scissors or a craft knife, making sure the edges are straight and neat. Next, let's form the cylinder into a 3-dimensional tube. Gently roll the rectangle along its length and glue the edges carefully so that it holds its cylindrical shape. Press along the seam to ensure it stays secure. If you want a thicker, more realistic cylinder, you can wrap a second strip of cardstock around the first one, gluing it carefully along the edges. Take your time here, rolling evenly and gluing precisely makes a big difference in the overall appearance. Now we'll create the handle. Cut a thin strip of paper about 3 inches long and 0.5 inches wide. Fold or slightly roll it to add thickness and make it feel 3-dimensional. Color the handle black or gray to simulate rubber or plastic grips. Glue it securely to the top of the cylinder, making sure it is centered. You can even lightly shade one side to create a realistic shadow effect and a slight highlight on the opposite side to mimic light reflection. Next, we'll make the base. Cut a small rectangle to act as the bottom platform of the pump where it stands on the ground. Color it black or gray to simulate rubber or metal. Glue it carefully to the bottom of the cylinder. To give it extra realism, you can fold the edges slightly upward or downward to simulate a raised platform, which many real bicycle pumps have for stability. Now, let's create the hose. Cut a thin strip of black or gray paper about 4 to 5 inches long to represent the flexible hose. You can gently curl or bend it to create a natural, relaxed shape. Glue one end of the hose to the side of the cylinder near the bottom. Take your time here because the shape of the hose adds movement and realism to your model. Make sure the hose is securely attached and appears proportional to the cylinder. Next, we'll make the nozzle. Cut a tiny rectangle or small tube from cardstock and color it silver to represent the metal tip of the pump. Glue it to the free end of the hose. For added realism, lightly shade the tip, or draw a small circle to simulate the opening of the nozzle. This small detail makes your paper pump look functional and professional. After assembling the main parts, let's focus on shading and texturing. Use a pencil or colored pencil to lightly shade along one side of the cylinder to create a 3-dimensional effect. Add subtle shadows along the handle hose and base to make the model look more realistic. For highlights, you can use a white pencil or marker to simulate light reflection on the metal or plastic surfaces. If you want, you can also add faint lines or texture to the handle to make it appear grippy, just like a real bicycle pump handle. Now, let's refine the overall structure. Check that the cylinder is straight, the handle is aligned, the base is secure, and the hose is in a natural curve. Press gently on all glued parts to reinforce the structure. Adjust any small details like the curve of the hose or the placement of the nozzle to make your model look balanced and realistic. Finally, take a moment to appreciate your work. Your miniature paper bicycle pump is complete. It now has a realistic cylinder handle base, hose, and nozzle. This project is not only fun, but it also teaches patience, precision, and attention to detail. Paper crafting allows you to recreate everyday tools creatively and artistically. You can display your model, use it in a miniature scene, or even gift it as a handmade decorative item. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed making your paper bicycle pump, and I hope it inspires you to create more realistic paper models of everyday tools and objects. Keep practicing. Experiment with shading, layering, and tiny details, and remember, the more attention you give to small features, the more realistic your model will look. Happy crafting, and I'll see you in the next video.